The laughter came first, sharp, careless, and loud enough for the whole cafe to hear. It cut through the room like a blade, aimed not at something funny, but at someone. It, the small woman standing in line, her shoulders straight, her jacket worn thin with age. On the sleeve, a faded, fraying patch barely held by its stitches. It looked like nothing special to them. But to her, it was everything. They pointed, whispering as if she couldn't hear. Looks like something from a yard sale. One man muttered, just loud enough for others to smirk. She didn't turn. She didn't explain. Her hands stayed still, folded in front of her, the way they had learned to stay still in sandstorms and firefights. She was smaller than most in the room, but the stillness in her eyes made her seem larger. People saw the wrinkles at the corners, the deep tan on her skin, but not the nights she had slept under a burning sky. They saw the fraying thread, but not the day it had been sewn into her sleeve with trembling hands, thousands of miles from here. Years ago, her world had been dust and heat. Her job was not to be seen, not to be known. She moved under the cover of shadows, guiding soldiers through places maps refused to name. The patch was earned in silence, a mission that had never made headlines, because no one was meant to know it had happened. She had carried a wounded soldier across 2 miles of hostile ground, while helicopters circled above, searching for them. Every muscle had screamed, every breath tasted of smoke and iron. But she never stopped. He had been barely more than a boy. Blue eyes clouded with pain, his hand clutching hers like the last rope holding him to the world. She had promised him, without words, that he would see his home again, and he did. Then she disappeared into the shadows again, carrying only the patch as proof she had been there. Now, in the bright light of the cafe, she stood alone, letting the whispers fall around her like dust. No one stepped forward to stop them. The bystanders sipped their coffee, their silence heavy, their eyes sliding away when she looked up. She simply waited her turn, her breathing steady, as if this kind of disrespect was nothing new. At the far end of the room, the door opened. A tall man in a crisp uniform stepped in, his chest heavy with medals, his shoulders squared with authority. People noticed him instantly. The quiet shift in the air was impossible to miss. He scanned the room, then froze, his eyes locked on the faded patch. For a moment, he didn't move. Then, slowly, he walked toward her. The laughter stopped. Every head turned. He stopped in front of her, his voice low but carrying. "Ma'am, where did you get that patch?" Her answer was simple, from someone who needed saving. The man's jaw trembled, his eyes glistening as his gaze searched her face. And then, to the shock of everyone in the cafe, a 5-star general, a man who had commanded armies, stood straighter, saluted, and let his voice break. "You're the ghost who saved my son." No one spoke. The silence was deep, almost reverent. The general reached out, taking her hand as though it were something sacred around them. The same people who had mocked her now lowered their eyes, shame burning in their cheeks. She didn't smile. She didn't gloat. Her words were quiet enough for only a few to hear. A patch is just cloth. It's the lives it carries that matter. In that moment, she wasn't just a woman with a worn jacket. She was living history, a reminder that heroes don't always wear their medals where others can see them. When she left the cafe, no one laughed. Some stood as she passed, not because they understood everything, but because they understood enough. And long after the door closed, the general remained there, his hands still pressed to his forehead, his eyes wet, whispering to himself. She brought him home, when no one else could. Some heroes walk among us unseen, and sometimes it takes just one moment, one act of truth, to remind the world how much it owes to the ones who never asked for thanks. Wherever you are watching from, remember, respect costs nothing, and for some, it's the only thing they've ever wanted.